Jai Baba. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Thanks to David Baba and Jai Baba to all of you. We are reading the eternal calendar, and I have 2 points for discussion. Would you like to come in? Or said the 2 points for discussion spillover from the last meetings. In one of the earlier meetings, I had mentioned that was on the 8th of November. I said that Baba dictated his prayer of repentance in Kuldabad on the 8th of November, so 8th of November 1951. And in 1952, no, that was the Master's Prayer. 53 is the Master's Prayer. And on 8th of November 1952, he actually recited the prayer for the first time. And I was under a mistaken opinion that it was at Satara, which I said, sorry, he got it recited. Yeah. He got it recited. And the place, the factual thing is, the place is at Mehrabad. In Mehrabad, there was a special function organized, and Baba had it recited on that day. So I just wanted to correct myself. It was not Satara. It is Mehrabad where it was recited for the first time. And the second point was about, last time Bhikkhu spoke about something to do with pity, whether to feel pity or not to feel pity and all that. So I could locate some mention about pity. So I thought, let us complete the conversation so that it goes on record. Soumya will read it out to you. And then there are 2 areas. One is from Glimpses of the God-Man. Soumya will read. And then the other reference to pity is from Listen Humanity. Yeah.
You had said time before, Tuesday before this, that Erach was told to recite the prayer. And Baba was saying like this, quick, quick, quick. Later on, Erach said, because I felt that there was some engine going on. But then, is it to be recited that way? Suppose if we are in a hurry, and if we do that, will it be acceptable to Baba?
First, I think we will answer Bhikkhu's question about pity, feeling sorry for somebody and pity. Before you came in, we just discussed about the prayer of repentance having been said first time, uttered, recited first time at Mehrabad.
You feel sorry to see a beggar, an injured or deceased person, or someone in a miserable predicament. And naturally, you are prompted to do something to relieve the person from his stroke her suffering. But this gives the person only temporary relief. The real remedy, however, is primarily to awaken in others the spirit of accepting suffering as part of one's karma. People should not fear suffering. While overcoming it, they should develop a proper understanding of it. This is the beginning of real happiness. However, this act of awakening perfect hope in the hearts of others is bestowed only by the realized ones. This does not mean that you should not feel distressed for the poor and the afflicted. However, whatever is done in response to one's honest feelings should be done in the spirit of selfless service. Bal Natu, Glimpses of the God-Man, Volume 3, page 238.
So the important thing, before we started the session, there was some reference to suffering, somebody suffering. So Baba says here that the real remedy, however, is primarily to awaken in others the spirit of accepting suffering as part of one's karma. people should not fear suffering, because suffering never comes without any cause. We've been doing this over and over again, that unless there is a cause, there cannot be an effect. So effect itself shows that there is a cause. I repeat the same thing, there cannot be a smoke without a fire and all that. Okay, so here this is one aspect where we many times we do discuss this, should we give some money to the beggar or not? The general thinking amongst Baba people is it's better to give them a little food or little maybe employment or something where they are on their own rather than just doling out money. Now there's another reference to pity in Listen Humanity, which we'll read again.
The question of pity for the suffering and the downtrodden is also a moot one. Such expressions of pity in themselves are an expression of ignorance, as pity itself is invariably based on unconscious denial of the equal capacity for everlasting freedom of the self. There is no truth in the myth that the well-fed, well-clothed, well-educated can best find God. On the contrary, the so-called rich are comparatively more handicapped by fleeting comfort and mercurial resources than are those who feel chained by their material needs. Since God loves the afflicted ones most, to emphasize their helplessness is to act in ignorance of their true state of grace. Instead of making them think more and more about their helplessness, they must be made to come nearer and nearer to God. Except in cases of complete physical helplessness, help can best be given by offering the individual work and making him feel that he is fit to do work. Yet, even this help is superfluous when judged from the standpoint of spirituality. Real help that can be rendered humanity is to make man feel his inherent divinity and to cause him to see that the only purpose of life is to love God in order to become one in full consciousness with him. Listen, Humanity, Meher Baba, pages 149 to 150.
So here again, Baba says that when we pity somebody, we are actually giving an impression, giving an expression of ignorance, that we are thinking that we are high up and they are low, and we are actually indirectly suppressing them rather than bringing them up. So here Baba is very beautifully saying that such expressions of pity in themselves are an expression of ignorance, as pity itself is invariably based on unconscious denial of the equal capacity for everlasting freedom of the self. That means irrespective of how pitiable a condition may be, he is also equally capable of achieving the highest goal, which is realization. And then Baba talks, real help can be rendered to humanity is to make him feel his inherent divinity. So when we talk to somebody whom we are pitying, we must encourage him and ask him to look into his inherent divinity and to cause him to see that the only purpose of life is to love God in order to become one in full consciousness with him. So these were two references I could locate from those two books, and I thought we'll complete those thought processes. It's a good thing to ask questions and then, acha, now your question, Aban, just now when you said, this is my interpretation. Baba has always emphasized on prayers being said with the feeling, with the understanding. There's no doubt about this. I remember an instance we were discussing the other day when Ramchandra Ghadekar was asked to say the Aarti, the Marathi Aarti, when I'm talking several years back. And just before that, there was a thorn which pricked his, soul. And he was limping, and then Baba immediately said, say the Aarti. And Ramchandra ji recited the Aarti. Immediately after the Aarti, Baba is asking, were you thinking about the thorn, or was your thought in the Aarti, in the words, in the feeling? And Ramchandra ji said, no, I was not thinking about the thorn. My full attention was on the Aarti. So Baba said, very good. That's how it should be. So in other words, in my understanding, and I think common understanding is that the prayers must be recited with full heart, with full feelings, with full understanding. Now, why did Baba say like this? Because many people miss, I'm glad you asked. Baba, why did Baba said that you have got no idea of the importance of this prayer? Because of my participation in this prayer, people who recite it will be benefited spiritually. He never said you recite it in this way, but will be benefited. So in other words, I think there's a little misinterpretation of people thinking that you can recite. See, after all, you can recite, nobody is going to say no to you. But the correct method, according to me, would be to say it with the heart. Otherwise, it becomes mechanical. And Baba had said elsewhere, that when you do things mechanically, it actually binds rather than relieves you or releases you. So, or rather than liberating you. So in my understanding, the statement that even if it is mechanically performed, it is helpful, only referred to Erach mechanically performing at that particular point in time, because Baba was tremendously suffering. He could not even stand up, and Baba was held by two people. He was standing, and so he wanted his participation, his spiritual, whatever you call it, energy, vibration, to be inside the prayer when it is being recited. So no, that was the issue. Yeah, okay. He was unable to stand. You want to say something? Yeah, he was in tremendous pain. Yes. So in other words, to answer your question, in my understanding, Baba reference to mechanical prayer, mechanically saying, only referred to that part because he wanted to give whatever he had to give in the prayer so that when people recite it with love, they benefit. Yes, he's standing and saying. Correct. Right. Yasmin says that he is setting an example that in spite of, I'm just repeating because people may not be able to hear. He was setting an example of standing when the prayer is being recited in spite of the fact that he was suffering. Right. Chalo. Okay, thank you. So now we begin with okay. Bhikkhu has a question. Right. Correct. Yes. Bhikkhu says sometimes it becomes difficult. I would say all times it becomes difficult. Okay, go ahead. Okay. No, let him complete. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I can't say whether Baba meant that even if you do mechanically, it will benefit. It is up to between you and Baba. I don't know. But I'm just interpreting my understanding of that statement. Yeah, of course. Thoughts do come. Thoughts do come when we are praying and when we are doing arti. So many thoughts come. So I think the only underlying lesson is that we try to focus that much little time of 10 minutes, 15 minutes only on Baba and try to say it with the heart and the words. Yeah. Correct. And we know that story about. Right. Correct. The episode, yeah, I agree with you, Yasmin. Okay. Now coming back, Baba had, we all know Darab Shah Khatrak, our ex-president, erstwhile president, and Baba would be going to Kakabaria's place, which was in the same building. And sometimes before going or sometimes while returning, he would hop into the Khatrak's family. And once or twice he must have found that Darab Shah was saying the prayer from the Avesta, from the Parsi Zoroastrian Avesta book, And Baba, in a very casual, joking way, say, are you putting your attention or are you seeing to the pages, how many pages are back, how many pages are yet to be completed, and you do it fatafat so that you are finished and you are done with today's job. Then Darab Shah also very sweetly and honestly said, yeah, sometimes I do that. because I have to finish it. So most people do it because out of practice, out of compulsion, out of habit. Farajiyat, yeah, means it's right. So that is where Baba said, no, you mustn't do it like this. Even if you pray just a little, pray it with your heart. So the bottom line is pray it with your heart. That's all. Chalo. We are on 28th of March. I don't think graduates, double graduates, or chartered accountant has anything to do with concentration. Your concentration may be better because you meditate. I know, I agree. Chalo. We are reading March 28th. I just exhibited the photograph here.
When you sink a well, you first select a spot before beginning the drilling. But if you stop drilling halfway and start anew at a different spot, you will never find water and all your labors will be wasted. But if you keep drilling at one spot, you will surely find water eventually. A spirit of fortitude is required. If you are easily disappointed and keep trying at different places, you will never succeed. Similarly, if you continue running from one saint to or Sadguru to another, you will never gain anything. Stick firmly to only one master and carry out his wishes. Dig, and keep on digging, and one day you will get the water of realization.
Here what Baba is trying to say, and elsewhere Baba had said, that if you are shopping for masters, you know, how we do window shopping, go here, there, and then choose the best, whatever product that you want. But once you have chosen the product, you be satisfied with that. So in the same way, many of us, or maybe most of us, may have gone here, there, everywhere. And once we are convinced that Meher Baba is the highest of the high, that he is God in human form, that he is the Sahib-e-Zaman, that he is the same as Zoroaster, Ram, Krishna, Buddha, Jesus, and others, you know, then once you're stuck onto him, you have to stick on to him. That's what Baba is trying to say. So before you dig a well, you generally, that's what people do, give a contract to some diviner. Some people who would be coming, with some instrument, and with that instrument, they will be able to feel that there is a stream of water or a river or something which is going deep down in the earth. And then they would select a spot and he would say that now you start digging over here. So when you start digging, you say digging 5 feet, 10 feet, 15 feet. If you don't strike water, you say, no, it's hopeless. Let me try somewhere else. Then whole of our life will go. We will not be able to strike water. But if we are convinced that this is the place from which I am going to get water, then Baba says, dig, keep on digging till you find water, and you will find water of realization. So that is what Baba is trying to say. Stick to one. That's what Baba is trying to say. So let me read it. When you sink a well, the best part is in Mehrabad, you don't get water. Now, of course, you can see lakes also and beautiful, lots of water. During those times, 1925, 26, 27, they couldn't just find water. It was all dry patch. And then somebody suggested to Baba that we should call one of that diviner or whatever. So he came, and so many people, they came, and then he selected a spot. Now this is what I have heard. And there they had kept a stone over there as a marking that this is the spot where we are supposed to dig. Somehow, Baba's Leela, as we say, somehow or the other, either some children came playing or something happened, and they threw the stone away, and that spot was also gone. So this is Baba's way of allowing his Manli to go through all the difficulties rather than give everything on a platter. When you sink a well, you first select a spot before beginning the drilling. But if you stop drilling halfway and start anew at a different spot, you will never find water and all your labors will be wasted. But If you keep drilling at one spot, you will surely find water eventually. A spirit of fortitude is required. You must have that fortitude, you must have that patience, you must have that endurance of fortitude. If you are easily disappointed and keep trying at different places, you will never succeed. Similarly, if you continue running from one saint or Sadguru to another, you will never gain anything. Stick firmly to only one master and carry out his wishes. Dig, dig, and keep on digging. And one day you will get the water of realization. So this message basically is for all of us also, that if we have finally decided in our own heart and mind that Baba is the ultimate, that we don't need to go anywhere else, it doesn't mean that we will be disrespectful to other masters. No, it doesn't mean that. It simply means you will not run after them for some kind of a spiritual gain or spiritual benefit, because you will only get it from Baba. On that also, I could find out some message. So I thought maybe Soumya will read, and then let's see.
One day, after Meher Baba had emerged from a long period of seclusion, we were sitting in Mandli Hall with some of his close lovers whom he had permitted to visit him, and Baba asked them whether they remembered him during the time they were away from him. In unison, all those present said that they loved him and remembered him. "And how do you do that?" asked Baba. One of them said that all the lovers gathered and performed his aarti. Another said they sang bhajans, and a third said they repeated his name. Yet another mentioned that his group not only remembered Baba, but created a Baba atmosphere as well. "How did you do that?" asked Baba. "Baba," he replied, "we heard of a saint in our town and we visited him often. You have told us not to go to saints and yogis, but you have also said that you are in them. So I went with my family to visit this saint, and I saw you in him." "If you saw me in him," said Baba, "where was the need for you to come here today? You wanted a Baba atmosphere and you felt it in the presence of that person. There was no need, therefore, for you to come here." When the man had no reply, Baba continued, "I am also in the prostitute, in the vagabond, and in the thief. Why do you not visit them? You will find me there." Then, as tears of remorse began to trickle down the man's face, Baba continued, "What you say and you felt is right. I am in everything, but I am not that. The saint is the saint while I am the God-man. What do the police do to track down a criminal? They use dogs which smell out the criminal by first bringing the dogs to the site of the crime. Similarly, your coming here is like a preparation to catch the stealer of your hearts. I steal the hearts of mankind, and if you want to track me down, you must come to the site where I have spent so much time. Sometimes the dogs lose the scent and the police bring them again to the site. Likewise, you must come again and again till you are certain that you have my scent and are not likely to lose it. When you have saturated that scent in yourself, then there will be no need for you to come here." The Ancient One, editor Noshirwan Anzar, pages 125 to 126.
So Baba has been very clear, and we keep repeating this, that once having come to Baba, there is no need for us to go here, there, everywhere. We will only lose something which we have already gained if the master gives us some order which is contrary to what Baba has asked us to do. That is the reason, one of the reasons where Baba had said that you need not go to others. Now the question arises sometimes, okay, you come across a master, what do you think? You turn your face away or something? No, Baba had never said that, Baba had always respected all the real masters as well as the false masters by actually bowing down to them. So there's no harm in just paying your respects to them. It's not that you have to be disrespectful of anything, but not run after it. Then there was a question where somebody had asked Baba that my family, that means the girl has married into a family, and that family believes in some other master, and they keep going and visiting the master. What should I do? Should I go? Should I not go? Then Baba's reply was words to the effect, if you can avoid going, trying to make them understand that there's no need for you to go, it's fine. But if you feel that they are insistent that you should go, and if you feel that if you do not go, there will be a disharmony in the family, then you may go, but you try to remember me when you are seeing the master. That way. So this is a very balanced way of behavior. You see, there was once a family where the girl said that I'm married into a family and I'm keeping your Meher Baba's photograph in my room, and there's always a fight between husband and me and all that. The Baba said, what is there? Just throw the photograph, just remove the photograph. Why should there be disharmony? Because as long as I am in your heart, where is the need for you to keep so many photographs? Like how in this it is said, in the message Baba had said, saying words to the effect that you keep coming to the site of where the murder has taken place, let's say like in a criminal, that you come to the site where you are getting the love, Baba's Samadhi or Baba's Mehrabad or Mehrazad or places associated with Baba, then you keep so as to revive your scent of remembering Baba. But maybe a time will come, like for example, sometimes the dogs lose the scent and the police bring them again to the site. Likewise, you must come again and again. This is again important. Till you are certain that you have my scent and are not likely to lose it, when you have saturated that scent in yourself, then there will be no need for you to come here. That means once we have genuinely enthroned Baba in our heart, and once we have cultivated this art of seeing Baba in everyone and everything, including in our own self, then there may come a time where you don't need to travel to go anywhere else because Baba is always with you. So I would say that is the message which is very important for all of us to imbibe. Now this is now March 29, and this is the photograph, beautiful photograph of Baba, March 29th. Yeah. Because they can't hear you. I know you have a good voice.
When Parviz Talati, when she was a small girl, some friends of her told her to visit some place where a great saint was supposed to take you.
Okay. Good. All right. Now this is an episode. There are many of these types, but Parviz Talati, who later became Parviz Kelkar, the late wife of Sridhar Kelkar. She was a small girl, school-going girl, and she had a very good friend, best friend. And in that best friend's home, there was a marriage. And so these children were invited, Parviz was invited, and her brother, Kharshed was also invited. So both these children went to the marriage party, and the marriage was a big bash, and not only a big bash, but a spiritual big bash, because in that marriage function, there was some, you can say, very saintly divine person who was invited, in whom that family had great trust and faith. So the moment that gentleman came and sat on his takhas, you can say throne, everybody started queuing up and they started taking darshan of that person, the divine person, the spiritual person. Now these two children would not go and stand in the queue. So the host, the lady said, बच्चे लोग चलो आप भी लाइन में खड़े हो जाओ, बाबा जी का ये करो, दर्शन ले लो. So immediately they said, no, we will not go. We will not go because we belong to Mayor Baba. We are Mayor Babas. Now Dina Talati, Nawal Talati, they have been with Baba from 20s, that way. Dina was the one who first stitched Baba's 7-colored flag. So yeah, the flag, yes, Sadra also. So what I'm trying to convey is the closeness with that family had with Baba. They said no, they refused to go. And again, some time passed by. Again, the host came, nahi beta, it doesn't look good. It's an insult to him. He's such a genuine saintly. They said no, we will not go. Somehow that saint saw what was happening, and then he calls the host and says, बच्चे लोग को बोलो कि हमको नमन नहीं करे, खाली हमारे पास आए, not to bow down to me, just come closer to me. So then the bacha, they went, because Baba had said not to bow down and all that. They went. Then that saint announces, tells all the people around, आपको पता है ये किसके बच्चे हैं? Do you know to whom this children belong to? ये मेहर बाबा के है. So he was a genuine person. ये मेहर बाबा के है करके. And then what he says is something very profound. He says, मेरे पास अधिकार इतना है कि रुपये में से 2 आना मैं वो किसी को देना चाहता हूं, बख्श तो मैं बख्श कर सकता हूं. I can give 2 annas from 1 to, at that time the chalan was of annas. 16 annas made a rupee. So out of that 1 rupee, I can give 2 annas to somebody if I just get the feeling or a whim to give something to somebody. लेकिन उनके जो मास्टर है ना मेहर बाबा, वो तो पूरा 1 रुपया भी देता है और ऊपर से 2 आना भी दे सकता है. उतनी उनका अधिकार इतना है. That is his authority, that he can give the full rupee and on top of it also give 2 annas. Then that saintly person says, जब भी आप मेहर बाबा को मिलेंगे मेरा प्रणाम देना. And the matter, and the children were absolutely cloud 9, cloud 10, whatever you call it. देखो हमारा मेहर बाबा के लिए क्या बोलते हैं. After some time, the children had the opportunity of meeting Meher Baba. And Meher Baba they were taking Baba's darshan, and he pointed out to the children and said, are you not supposed to give me something? आपको कुछ मुझे देना था ने? तो बच्चे लोग तो भूल गए थे. तो then Baba reminded कि उस दिन, so many much later, आपको ये संत पुरुष ने ऐसा हाथ जोड़ के बोला था कि मेरा प्रणाम मेहर बाबा को देना, तो आप तो भूल गए, आपने दिया नहीं. And then मेहर बाबा says कि जिस क्षण उन्होंने हाथ जोड़ के ऐसा बताया कि प्रणाम देना, उसी क्षण मुझे उनका प्रणाम मिल गया. And that is where he discloses that he was the Sankaracharya of Dehradun, a real genuine saint. And only a real genuine saint would recognize Meher Baba, not only recognize but know his authority as to what is his spiritual stature. So that is thank you, Biko, for reminding. Okay, now we are on March 29th.
Intuition has been buried under the debris from the piecemeal tuition of the assailing experience of the false. Tuition is impressioned from without, while intuition dawns from within. Tuition thwarts intuition. Therefore, the tutoring of the mind by external events has to be counteracted by inner awakening. Then, and only then, can intuition, in its transcendent understanding, truly judge without yielding to the stupor of indiscriminate impressibility.
Please. 1 minute. Jasmine want to say something. Jasmine, take the mic.
The way Soumya reads, is actually the way you should say a prayer, Baba's prayer. It's the way you should say Baba's prayers, the way she says it, the way she reads. That is the pace, the conviction, the intellect, everything is involved in it.
Yasmin was praising my wife that this is the now she is on cloud 9 because such a saintly person. Like, all right. Now this is a little, let me explain. First I'll read and then I'll explain. Okay, I'll read and I'll do it the way I read. Intuition has been buried. Intuition is a tuition from within, and tuition is the learning from outside. Baba had said that spirituality or spiritual development is not an accumulation or a gathering from outside. It is an unfoldment from within. Intuition has been buried under the debris from the piecemeal tuition of the assailing experiences of the false. So let's go a little steady. We know what intuition is, that which comes from within. You know, it has been buried. It has been buried means it has been covered up, enveloped. By what? By the debris. Debris is what? Debris is rubble or wreckage or scattered remains. You know, like when the building is broken down, you have a debris, kachra, all that, garbage. Intuition has been buried under the debris from the piecemeal tuition. The tuition is not continuous flow of learning, piecemeal. It comes and then stops and then again comes and then stops. And sometimes it comes and says this and the other time it comes and says this. That's what we've been experiencing over the last several years. Science says that this is good and then after 10 years it will say this is bad. You know, like coconut oil is supposed to be the culprit for cholesterol. Now coconut oil removes cholesterol, something like that. You are supposed to eat badam with the chilka, and now the chilka creates some problem, so you have to remove the chilka. And you are supposed to soak badam and drink the water in the morning. Now science says the water is not to be drunk and on. So I mean, this is a piecemeal and this is science, and it keeps changing every few years. Many people go on diet with crash diet, doing this, and then all of a sudden they feel that no, it is not correct. Many people, eggs were supposed to be the culprit. You know, I have seen with my own eyes people eating only the white of the egg and throwing away the yellow. Hamara jaan jalta tha. Anyway, so now say that that egg has been removed from that culprit list of good. Please do.
You know, when I first came to MPR and saw the food and all that, I said, yeah, everything is fantastic, but why are they serving eggs here? It's a vegetarian place, na? So there was one, we were in the MPR, we were in our bus, Bombay Center bus, and this man had no seat, so he was sitting at a step near the driver. And he was a foreigner. He said, exactly. And you know what an egg is? Egg, you know what you're eating? You're eating the period of the hen. It's like, that's what they're eating. Don't they realize what they're eating? I didn't know. I said, my God, don't say this to anyone here, or they just eat you up alive. But yeah, it is that.
Just to answer her, what is milk? It is blood of the cow, blood of the buffalo, isn't it? Or what is fruits? Is the excrement of the trees. So if you look at it, see, sorry, we are digressing a little bit, but it's a full cycle. If you really look at it, you know, the moolies and everything that you eat on the railway platform, you know, that railway track what do you, it's the excrement that goes in and you find it very tasty. Vegetarians, yeah. Anyway, we are digressing a little bit. But what I'm saying, sorry?
Who are actually growing vegetables on near the railway track. From where they get the water? It's from the drain system that's running parallel.
So in other words, I mean, yeah, I agree to a certain extent, but it's a full cycle, you know. We do not know what all we eat by way of medicines. If you really go into research and find out what each medicine contains, it may contain a whole lot of so-called non-vegetarian attardi and liver and bukkas and all kinds of things. So we will not go into it. Now let us, no, I know, but it's a serious thing. Even this, yeah, homeopathy, even mithai, you get that silver lining, that silver, whatever, it's made out of fat of pig. So it's a known thing. I mean, so anyway, that's why Baba had said, you know, what comes out of your mouth is more important than what goes in. So don't be, at least I am not very finicky about eating this and not eating this and all that. Jo bhi plate mein aa gaya, Jai Baba ka swaha. Anyway, all right, coming back to our reading now. So it has been buried under the debris from the piecemeal tuition of the assailing experiences. Experiences are there, but assailing experience, attacking. They are attacking experiences of the false. They are experiences of the false. They are attacking us. They are giving us piecemeal tuition. And because of that piecemeal tuition, our intuition is buried under the debris of all these things. So that is the first sentence. Tuition is impressed from without. Without means from outside. Tuition is impressed from without, while intuition dawns from within. Intuition is an unfoldment from within. And that is why Baba keeps harping, look within. You know, Baba also keeps saying that irrespective of where you go searching for me, searching for God, the only place that can house you and the only place where you will find me is in your own heart, in your own being, basically. So here again, Baba says, tuition is impressed from without, while intuition dawns from within. Tuition thwarts intuition. Tuition something is thwarted, something is against or opposed or perverse, stopping, something is coming in between. That means the more you follow the tuition, the less you follow the intuition. Tuition thwarts intuition. Therefore, the tutoring of the mind by external events has to be counteracted by inner awakening. That means Baba is asking us to change the focus of our consciousness from without to within. Gradually learn to take the stand from within as to what we are expected to do or what we are supposed to do, rather than from the tuition from outside. Therefore, the tutoring of the mind by external events has to be counteracted by inner awakening. Then, and only then, can intuition in its transcendent understanding. Transcendent would mean supreme understanding or beyond the range of usual perception, beyond the range of understanding, transcendent. In its transcendent understanding, truly judge, then the intuition will truly judge without yielding, without giving into, without yielding to the stupor. Stupor here would mean dulled or impaired or something with apathy. Stupor basically means like you are sleeping, you are inert, you are not active, that is, but here it is, dulled or impaired. Then truly judge without yielding to the stupor of indiscriminate impressibility. Indiscriminate means without thought, thoughtless, spur of the moment, indiscriminately you do something, you are not giving it a proper thought. You are not in a balanced state of mind to take a particular action. Indiscriminate impressibility, that means susceptible to get impression. Impression means samskaras, is called impressibility. Now I'll read the whole message again, then it may make a little more sense to what Baba is trying to convey. Intuition has been buried under the debris from the piecemeal tuition of the assailing experiences of the false. Tuition is impressed from without, while intuition dawns from within. Tuition thwarts intuition. Therefore, the tutoring of the mind by external events has to be counteracted by inner awakening. Then and only then can intuition, in its transcendent understanding, truly judge without yielding to the stupor of indiscriminate impressibility. So that is the Baba's message, which was given on 29th of March. Now we turn over. Oh, I'm sorry. It appears in our eternal calendar on the 29th of March. Well, Aban is asking, he used to love that way. In that sense, Aban is asking such beautiful English language he is using, how much has he studied? Study has nothing to do with this, I remember, and I have shared this, Baba's father, Sheriarji. Yeah. After all, he's God, na? You read discourses, you read God speaks. Oh yes. Yeah. Yes. He was a voracious reader, and even after he qualification, he just only, I think, did up to inter. He did this, he went to the college, and then in 2014, 13 the kiss, 14 the embrace, and then 19. I'm sorry, no, thank you. 19, 13, 19. Sorry. Yeah, correct. So I was just going to narrate this, that Baba's father, Sheriarji, was not what you say, lettered. He never went to school to study, and yet he knew so many languages apart from Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, English, Persian, Hebrew, Urdu, Hebrew also. So once Baba's sister Mani asked, how come our father is so very literate? He speaks so many languages. He reads, he used to read Hafiz, he used to read the Chanama and all that. So to Shirin Mai, when Shirin Mai was pregnant, and maybe later so Baba there was a curtain lying over there. So Baba just removed just shifted the curtain, and the light came in. So Baba just wanted to say that such knowledge does not require schooling. You don't have to go to school or attend some tuition or classes. It comes spontaneously, automatically, intuitively. You just know. That's all we can say. So it's like that. Yeah. Bhikkhu has something to say.
Baba, when he used to give certain speeches also, so somebody used to translate in Gujarati, somebody used to translate in Tamil or Telugu. Even in Tamil and Telugu, Baba used to say, no, this is not the word. What you are saying is wrong. You must say this. Am I right, sir? Even te bhi karta hota. Even tene bhi correct karta hota. Telugu ne Tamil walaon ne bhi, Malayalam walaon ne bhi. Bhai, I word nathi, no matlab I tha. And talking about what to eat and what not to eat, just one episode came into my mind. This was said by our Rustam Falati. Rustam Falati, as you know, he was for 10 years, he was in Mehrabad and Mehrazad. He was fighting the chemical factory case and Supreme Court. When he was at Mehrabad, sorry, somebody told him, eggplant banao. Eggplant was there for food. Somebody told, some warren told him, Baba said eggplant, don't eat eggplant, otherwise you will die. It's a poison curry. Poor fellow went to that fellow. Alan ne jene kayu ke Baba has said not to eat eggplant. You eat eggplant, we will all die. All you, Alan, let them die. I will make eggplant.
Yeah, it is a tox. Baba did say, Began means bina any gun. Bina begun, bengan. Yeah. Well, now science says it's very, very good to eat. So let's not get into that area of discussion. But yes, thank you very much. So Anyway, I don't want to get into so many food. Okay, now we are on March 30. Khake mari, khake mari. Correct. All right. This is another beautiful photograph of Meher Baba in his Kamali coat, and I suppose this was taken in London. Okay. Soumya says this is not the Kamali coat. Okay.
Selfishness comes into existence owing to the tendency of desires to find fulfillment in action and experience. The range of selfishness is equal to the range of desires. Owing to the hindrance of multifarious desires, it becomes impossible for the soul to find free and full expressions of its true being, and life becomes self-centered and narrow. The entire life of the personal ego is continually in the grip of wanting, that is, an attempt to seek fulfillment of desires through things that change and vanish.
Again, another important learning from Baba, that the more the desires, more the suffering, less the desires, less the suffering, more the desires, more the worries, less the desires, less the worries. Desire only for desirelessness. Hope to rise above all hopes. Want nothing and you will have everything. These are Baba's message, Baba's words. And I think the whole game of this life is to become more and more selfless, which means less and less selfish, so that when we say selfish or selfless, we are talking about the false self. The more selfish that we are giving more tonic, more vitamin tablets, more food to the falsity. And the more selfless that we are depriving the false ego of those, khorak we call it, of the nutrition. And as a result of which the false ego falls off. And when it falls off, the real ego emerges. That is the whole equation. So selfishness comes into existence owing to the tendency of desires to find fulfillment in action and experiences. If we really analyze, our entire life, that we want to have more and more experiences of conveniences, experiences of comfort, experiences of something that makes us feel good. That is what we are always craving for. And that is the meaning of desires. Why we get angry is because there is a thwarting of desires. I have a certain desire. Somebody did something which has thwarted, which has opposed, which has gone against my desire, and I get angry. Why do we have greed? Because we want more and more fulfillment. Everything. If you really analyze it, it is always selfishness and selflessness. That fight goes on. Whether you call it lust, whether you call it anger, greed, jealousy, same thing. Jealousy, why? What is jealousy? I want more and I'm giving you less. I want something more. So here Baba says, selfishness comes into existence owing to the tendency of desires. The desires don't have a tendency of non-fulfillment. Try to understand. The desires in its own makeup is such that it seeks fulfillment. So there is a tendency built into the desires itself to find fulfillment in action and experience. So that's the first paragraph. The range of selfishness is equal to the range of desires. That means the ambit, the arena of selfishness is equal to, is directly proportional to the range of desires. More the desires, more selfishness, less the desires, less selfishness. Owing to the hindrance of multifarious desires, it becomes impossible for the soul to find free and full expression of its true being. That means here Baba says, what is the hindrance for us to find full freedom and to experience the freedom of the spirit is the desires. I'll repeat, the range of, owing to the hindrance of multifarious desires, it becomes impossible for the soul to find free and full expression of its true being, and life becomes self-centered and narrow. More the desires, life becomes self-centered and narrow. The entire life of the personal ego is continually in the grip of wanting. I want this, I desire this. That is an attempt to seek fulfillment of desires through things. We seek fulfillment of desires through what? Through things that change and vanish. See how, if you logically analyze it, that our desires are changing, our desires are vanishing. Even if you are getting something after a certain, anything, when we were children, we wanted to buy this, there's so much of enthusiasm, so much of desire. But once we got this, then the desire is over. Then we want something else. That means in the entire process of wanting or desiring, it is not being fulfilled or satiated by having one thing. The whole disease of desire is such that you start wanting one thing after the other, and you always remain in a state of lack, L-A-C-K. Always remain in a state of wanting. Always remain never at a state of what you can say accomplished. I am content, I am accomplished, I have got what I wanted. I don't want anything. Now I just want to be. So that being is not there, it is always wanting and doing. So that was March 30th. Any questions? No questions coming forth. Good. Correct. Well, Bhikkhu very rightly said, if the desires are unfulfilled in this life, then these very desires become the building blocks of the new body in the next life. In other words, less the desires, the less the time for you to accomplish your coming. In other words, whether you call it mukti, moksha, or God realization, more the desire, because they are unfulfilled. So they will have to be fulfilled. See, there are only 2 minutes, so I won't read anything more. I'm just trying to, desires, after all, are nothing but energy. It's an energy. And it is an energy which is impressed on our mental body. I want this. I am desiring for this. I am craving for this. By hook or by crook, I must get this. So all this is impressed in our mental body. When we drop the physical body, it is only the physical form that is left over here. The other two bodies, the subtle and the mental, carry on its journey in the astral world or semi-subtle world, where they get another body called the astral body and experience the state of heaven or hell, depending upon your prepondering samskaras, good or bad, either you state of heaven or state of hell. And once they try to come to a balance, again you have to take another body with the residual samskaras. In other words, your unfulfilled desires, you are again bringing it back in the next life to be fulfilled. And this goes on and on and on. So the less we desire, the better it is for us, because in that sense, the scope of our getting liberated is much more, in terms of time, it is very short term that way. We still have, we have 1 minute more. If there's anything to share, yeah, Aman. Yes, Aman says we must be able to discriminate and distinguish between our needs and our wants. Our needs are only those which are required to keep the body and soul together. Let's put it that way. Yeah, besides that, everything else comes into desire or want. And then that is where, we get swoon into our desires and there's no end to it. All right, I think we've done 6. No, I don't. Next time you tell me. Okay, next time you bring Jungle Book. All right. Thank you very much. Thanks, Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki jai. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Jai Baba. Jai.
Jai Meer Baba, Jai Meer Baba.
Jai Meher Baba. Jai Meher Baba.